So, you joined me at Lydden Hill Race Circuit early this morning. We're allowed to walk the track, which is good. I made it here in time. Car is scrutineered. You can almost maybe see it up in the distance. So I'm just walking the track so I know where on earth I should go. A couple of other people out there doing it up there. Got to watch out for the vans and things.
But the funny thing about Lydden Hill is prep actually starts a week or two before what you've just seen from me on the track. It starts here, now, in the bedroom. No, not like that. Let me explain. So, one lovely man on the internet has created a digital version of Lydden Hill, and you can get it on Assetto Corsa. So, you get into your bedroom, you grab your Thrustmaster, not the best named steering wheel, but quite a good one, and you give it a go. I've actually gone a step further with this and created the closest thing I can to my scimitar in Assetto Corsa. So what I've got is actually a version of Jimmy Broadbent's Mark 1 MX-5 Turbo, and I've played around with the engine and gearbox settings, so the power delivery and gear ratios are pretty much what my car is, as well as about the right weight and balance. So, not perfect, but as close as you're going to get to a Scimitar SS1 in a modern game. And you even start straight out of the pits, just like at the sprint. I'm hoping that's not just like the sprint. Happily, as well as somewhere that you can have some quite big moments and no one laughs at you, doing this is actually quite a powerful tool. I really needed this last year when it was the first time I'd ever been to all of the tracks. It's such a good way to learn the basics of where the turns go, what things are like, without that being a genuine competition run. Often there's only one practice run, and then you're straight into competition. There is no time to learn what the track is and where it all goes. So, messing about with the Scimitar MX-5 before the race, it's a big thumbs up from me.
It's funny, driving the track on the game only helps you so much, because you come to a corner like this that really didn't look like very much in the game, and then suddenly it is a hard right. I was thinking, oh, I'll brake when it goes uphill, but no, you're turning before you go uphill. So, nail this curb, apex in tight, should be alright. Last year, someone drove through the rallycross track in a Porsche 911. That was hilarious, especially given the size of the jump they've got there. He didn't make it that far around. So we'll see if there's a repeat of that this year. That would be excellent.
That wail was the sound of a Porsche 911 driven by the very same man who took that exceptional shortcut. Thankfully this year he did know where he was going. Lydden's a bit of a strange one as a sprint because there are multiple cars on track and you do 1 3/4 laps of the circuit coming out from the pits. So you line up for quite a while waiting for the marshals to choose when it's safe for you to go. And when they are, you get the nudge to keep an eye on the light, and unlike a lot of sprints, you have to go within around 10 seconds or your time gets voided and you're not allowed to go. So you can see Marshall to my left is getting a bit twitchy. It's about to come soon, and in a moment we'll hear that Porsche come past again, and that'll be me off to go. I was actually taken a little bit by surprise by how quickly the light went green for me, hence the rather sedate start. And it was just as I turned into this right hand corner, I realised that I'd forgotten something I was doing that morning. I'd had my dash apart to try and do some changes, choose where it would flash for me to shift gears, and I had not actually re-adhered my little screen that you see on the right hand side behind the steering wheel back into place. So Rather than having to show you a G-meter for all of these corners, it's pretty obvious where everything was going by where that screen flies around, which really unnerved me for a bit, but coming into this second lap, I think I kind of worked it out a bit more. Realised that the cable was going to hold it well enough, so I could just have at it. This first corner at Lydden is quite a battle of nerves. Once you've got the car in, it's getting close to full throttle the whole way around, but not quite, so you're constantly just battling the car on the edge as you're coming over a rise, which also kind of unsettles the car. And then this corner, Devil's Elbow, I decided I'd go into second for no apparent reason. You'll see me shifting immediately on the exit, and then as it's the end of the run, stay over to the right hand side, get that shortest distance to the finish line. This next bit of track, you actually just carry on at a bit slower, but still reasonably near race speed, because there might be someone behind you at full pace. Then you can pull into the pits, and that's the end of your run. For this first run, there's a little bit extra for us to all do, where you see the timing screen, get your first time, 91.8, not my best, but fine for a starter, and we come straight into the noise test. So actually, if your car was over the noise limit, you got away with it just the once. Here you see I rev the car to about 4,000 RPM and they test it, find out that my car is really quite quiet as the race cars go, and I'm sent on my way. Lucky for the viewers, I forgot to turn the GoPro off after this run, so you get that lovely look of me looking back, reversing into the space, then getting out, lift the bonnet to keep the car cool, give it some space for all that hot air to get out, a few revs to spin the water pump over. And then it's on to tyre pressures, a few competitors checking on what's in my car, see if there's anything they can copy, I'm sure, and get ready for the next run. Which came round really quickly. Thankfully, this was a decently better run overall, just kind of solid, other than one big lock-up going up into the hairpin at the top of the hill. And I did put myself in third gear for Devil's Elbow, which worked a heck of a lot better. Passing the timing screen, I spotted an 88.99 second lap, which I was very pleased with. That meant it was the fastest I've ever gone round Lydden, and I just scraped into that 88 second bracket, which was quite a cool achievement.
Come on!
The next run was a bit underwhelming, only shaved about a tenth off, although I did manage to do a different kind of lock-up going up to the hairpin this time, with the rear end stepping out pretty sharply on me on the corner entry. Quite a lot for me to mull over through the lunch break.
So, here we are at Lydden, going as fantastically as it normally does, and it's the lunch break now. I haven't been able to do that much filming today, and we're not sitting quite so well as I'd hoped to be. I'm third in the Classic Marques Championship, which is the one I probably care most about, but I came hoping to do quite well in my on-the-day class, which is for two-wheel drive cars, road cars with quite big engines. So there's a lot of good competition. There's a very lovely purple Porsche 911, a couple of turbo MX-5s, 500 horsepower Jaguar F-Type, Porsche Cayman GT4, a lot of interesting stuff that is going to be tough to beat through practice. I was second in the class, which was amazing. First time to run, I think I was third or fourth, which is pretty good, but I've dropped now to about sixth or seventh, which is not so good, so I have to fight that back. But, you know, it's going all right, and it's an awesome day. It was maybe going to rain, but it hasn't rained yet, and fingers crossed that continues, because if it rains I'm not going to go any faster. That's going to be impossible. So we'll see what we can do. I've adjusted my suspension a little bit in the hope that I can find some more time, and I need to not lock up, keep going well, and yeah, see what I can do. The next run came together really quite well.
everything quite tidy, exactly what I wanted to do in the corners, and no real big mistakes. So I was really pleased to get through that and find I had saved some time and could kind of dwell on that a little bit, finding some time between the sessions.
Something. It's not enough.
Okay, I might not have been spectacularly pleased.
So, afternoon sit rep. Gained half a second on timed run 3. That's bumped me up one place in my on the day class, but it has not quite caught me up to second place in the Classic Marques Championship. So there's gonna have to be a bit more work. Literally, it could be as small as 1/10 and I could be there. So I did an 88.3 second run this time. If I can see something that says 87 on it, I'm gonna be very happy. No matter where I end up, if I can manage that, that's the goal. The risk is there are some big and scary looking clouds right up above the track. It hasn't rained yet. Oh, the Lotus just got a little bit off there. It hasn't rained yet, but it is looking very frightening that it might rain. So fingers crossed for an anti-rain dance, because I need it to be dry. I can't go quicker if it gets wet, but here goes.
Thankfully, even though the clouds kept looking quite scary, it didn't rain as I had a look around the pits to see what else was there. Quite a lot of varied and interesting cars that came to Lydden. Always seems to get a big range. And before I knew it, I was lined up behind a very rapidly moving off pink Porsche, and it was my final run. This run felt quite smooth, a really good launch, and then the car was quite skittish around that first long right-hander, and everything else really quite good, other than a minor kind of Jesus take the wheel moment on the final left-hand corner. But the thumbs up showed it was all okay.
Yeah! That's more like it! Come on! Come on!
I was pretty pleased with that,
Yes!
if you can't tell. So, end of the day, and managed to get another half a second off, which I'm very pleased with. So that actually makes me second in the Classic Marques Championship. Still only ended up 6th on the day, which is a shame because it was going well at the beginning. Second in practice, but there we go, that's racing. And the one that is really competitive for me is the Classic Marques Championship, so I've done well there, very pleased with that. It was a shame we didn't get extra run, hoped so, but Borough 19 always smash it and we got loads of runs in. Everything's packed away, including the magical pop-up tent. That was a excellent new bit of kit for this weekend, very pleased with it. And yeah, car's ready, I'm ready. It's now sunny, finally. So it's gonna be a very warm drive home, but I reckon we can survive it. I reckon the car can survive it. Softened off all the shock absorbers, so it's back to softly sprung, wallowy road spec, should be comfortable. Got the noise cancelling headphones to go in, and there we go. That's Lydden Hill. What a fantastic track.